Looking back at my past videos, it looks and sounds like I really hate card counting. It's definitely true that at times it's not all it's chalked up to be, but I really do enjoy the grind and find the silver lining in a lot of the obstacles of card counting. One of the best parts is the people you meet, especially since we can relate to each other. It helps create an almost instant friendship. I'm on BJA, Blackjack Apprenticeship, but this channel has actually helped me network too. Even though most of the people are also on BJA, this channel kind of just helps break the ice. They always say networking is really important, and I didn't realize until I got in contact with, let's just call him Chris Cooley. Shout out Chris Cooley. We got connected and we're talking about all the places we've been and how we've been doing, and he gives me info on a casino that is really helpful. So, you know what I had to do. When creating my spread, I was shocked to see my EV was around $72 an hour. Seeing that had me like,
Lord have mercy, I'm about to bust.
If you watch this channel, you all know that I love to double my EV by playing blackjack while I quote unquote work from home. Headed out at 6 a.m. so I'd be able to take some time before I had to answer emails from my phone. Pulling up, holy shit, this shit looks crazy. I knew instantly that this would be the nicest casino that I've ever played in. Now, nice casinos equaled nice security. Nice security equals more chances of getting the boot. Even though I thought it was unlikely, I took Cooley's advice of parking off-site. I walk in and the game is actually much better than I anticipated. I mean, I damn near busted. Looking back, my EV was anywhere from $72 to $89 an hour, depending on the dealer that I was playing with. I get to playing heads up and the dealer is going really fast, and this is great. It's the first shoe and I'm starting hot. Count goes positive, but caps at a true 2. I'm up at least $1,000 after the first shoe. Next shoe, still playing heads up. The dealer switches out. I pay it no mind until the guy starts dealing so slow, and in between each round he would do this thing with his hands every time, and it took like 10 seconds. It was infuriating me, but this is also this man's job, and who am I to come in there demanding he be faster so I can make more money? I played pretty much heads up with him for the next 3 hours, except for the occasional gambler jumping in, and when they did jump in, it was usually at negative count, so I would just sit out. And if you know anything about gamblers, you know this is a cardinal sin. Don't change the cards. They basically think that adding or removing hands changes the likelihood of a certain outcome, them winning, happening. It doesn't, but whatever. They come over, I sit out, then they get mad, curse me out, leave, and then I'm right back in it. I leave the table to use the bathroom and take a work call from my phone. Yes, I did these at the same time. Yeah, so Duma, were you able to take a look at the report? Yeah, I was actually able to. I come back to the table and there's something a little off, and I first noticed it when there was a bald dude in the pit. I said what's up and he just stared at me, but I thought, oh, he just weird. I started playing and the lady who was on the other side of the pit the entire time, not once came over to do anything, was typing something on the little pad thing at the table. Then there was a third boss in the pit who had not been there before. He was on his phone and he looked at me once. Then he did it again. I'm not gonna lie, I was so confused. Then the guy on the phone walked around the table and said,
"Hey sir, my name is blah 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 blah. Can I see your ID?"
At this casino, you are required to have your ID, so it is checked before you come in the casino. So obviously, I said no. If you aren't aware, he didn't want my ID to check my age. He wants to write down my information to create a file or send it to the Illuminati or whatever they do with that. After that, he said I had to leave, so I got up and walked away. But then he followed me. At that point, I just asked him, will you let me cash out without showing my ID? He was really chill and said, yeah. I asked him if he got the call from upstairs, and his response was, you know how it goes. I cashed out and left, but I wasn't done. Cover is a term used by APs and card counters to describe something that covers up the fact that you are counting. Seeing how I recently just got backed off, I thought this was a good time to use some cover. I decided I would go back with a whole new look. A hat, a mask, glasses, and the ultimate cover. My dad. Yes, my dad. He's played blackjack before, he just doesn't know basic strategy or know how to count or know that you can't touch the cards. That actually happened. It was crazy. We planned to attack 2 days later to give the casino a little time to cool off before I went back. Now, if you get backed off from a casino, you shouldn't come back the same week or month really, and definitely not on the same shift. So of course, I did both of those things because this is an experiment. That's my excuse. 6 a.m. Well, actually, my dad called me at 5:30 and woke me up. I was a little annoyed about that. But we met at the rendezvous point and went over the plan. The plan was that my dad act like he hasn't played blackjack before, and he hasn't in over 40 years, and I coach him up. He would play when the count was low, and I just tell him how to play each hand, and then when the count got to a true 2, I'd jump in and get to work. I told him ahead of time that casinos really don't like counters, and they really don't like when you work as a team to count cards. So if we did get kicked out, don't say anything, don't give them your ID, just leave. We walk in, and on the very first shoe, the count stays flat until about 3 decks left. This was really helpful working with my dad because I didn't realize he had no clue how to play, and neither did the dealer. When I told him it's my dad's first time, he was like, oh, explain the rules, etc. Then when playing, I tell my dad to do something, the dealer would be like, no, do this. And my dad being a little older, this like confused him or like made him freeze for a second. I just had to tell my dad, don't listen to him, listen to me. And my dad was like, all right. And the dealer did not like that. Then the count shoots up, and it's time for Pops to take a break. He just sits there with his jaw wide open as I start winning back all the money he lost and betting 2 hands of 125. We end that shoe at 400, and of course my dad thinks that this is a gold mine. But I told him it's not about what we make today, it's about the long run, and over time the money will come. The next shoe, the beginning was the same, except when the count rose, people started sitting down. Allen Iverson, yes, Allen Iverson and his posse were screaming. They had a girl kicked out by security, and it was all happening like 5 feet away from me. I had no idea what was going on. Shit was popping off. Then on cue, the variance kicked my ass, and I lose 3 top bets in a row. At this point, I realize I may have counting skills, but it's very hard to be coaching my dad, keeping the count, maintaining conversation with the dealer who is trying to coach me, and trying my hardest not to look at AI screaming over my shoulder. So I thought it'd be a good time for us to exit. Even though we ended down, on the positive signs, it seems like they had no clue that we were counting, so maybe disguises do work, or maybe the eyes in the sky didn't have enough time to really break down the counting. Either way, I didn't get a picture with AI, so I think the whole session was a loss. Peace.